Good morning, everybody. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. We still got some snow here, believe it or not. I figured it'd already be melted off, but it was a cold night. Today is February the 2nd, 2023. Make sure that if you're out and about today, be careful. A lot of ice still fell yesterday. Pray for Texas for sure. A lot of stuff. I'm surprised that the grids didn't fall as bad as they did, but there's still a lot of dangerous roads out there, so everybody be careful. And I want to remind everybody, subscribe if you're not part of the channel. Like, share this video. We enjoy having you on here. If you want to send dreams or visions in, make sure you go in the description box. We have an email. And Cindy wanted me to let everybody know that if you want to send, go to Facebook, our Facebook site, and she will be posting the dreams there. So you can go over to Facebook and post the dreams, because I'm getting so many of them, it's hard for me to catch up. So you can go over there and post the dreams and visions also. And pictures. You can go over there and put your pictures that you take. It's a lot easier than sending them to me. To get on YouTube, go over to Facebook and send those in. We have a Telegram channel. If you want to learn the Bible in better detail, you can go over to Robert Breaker. We have that link in the description box, okay? A lot of stuff going on around the world. This stuff now with Israel and Russia are starting to heat up. And we know that's the beginning of Gog and Magog. We know that all this stuff's going to come to pass. And the news just keeps, every day, it's magnifying. It gets worse and worse and worse. So you need to definitely keep your head on swivel. Stay awake. Because World War III will come out of nowhere. I keep telling everybody that, and it's lining up. And when it does happen, people will not see it coming. If you're lost out there, call upon Jesus in these last days. You call upon him, and he'll come. Say, Lord, I don't want to go to hell. Come to me right now. I want you to be in my life. If you believe that he died upon that cross, and he rose on the third day, you're sealed. You're ready to go home. Do not worry. Don't let anybody else tell you any otherwise. And I tell you also, be careful what you watch out there. There's a lot of false stuff going on here on YouTube. I heard a guy yesterday, and I had him on my subscription list, and he called Jerusalem, of all places, Babylon. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Now, this guy is supposed to be a missionary, and that right there should scare every one of you, David. If these people are missionaries, I am a banker for Citibank, because these people, if they're teaching the people about the gospel and bringing them to Christ, we're in trouble. There ain't nobody getting into heaven. Because anybody would say something that ignorant has never opened the Bible in their entire life. And what is that? It's adding to the Bible. So be very careful. There is so many ignorant people on here that don't know their butts from the hole in the ground when it comes to a Bible. I mean, YouTube is just full of people that's never picked up a Bible in their life, and they think they're preachers. And it's and they're using God to make money. Bottom line, that's what these channels are. They're just using God to make money. That's what it is. Bottom line, could not understand it. This guy has almost 100,000 subscribers. People are on his channel. And I'm telling you, as soon as he said that, everybody should have deleted him right on the spot. But they won't, because they love their false prophets. They love to have their ears tickled and to learn stuff that's not in the Bible, because they don't know their Bible. That's why we tell you to read it an hour or two a day. Because if you do and you know your Bible, you delete people like that. As soon as you hear that garbage, you don't go back to them. They're gone permanently. And when you start doing that, they disappear off here. And that's how you get rid of them. And they don't come back. Because people like that shouldn't get paid for God, because they don't know the Bible. And if they're not of God, they're something else. And you know what that is. I want to say a big thank you to Chrissy Johnson, Telmo, Cheryl Heston, JP, Tabitha Warren, Michael Hammond, Clint Williams, Elton James, Angela Holloman, once again sending me so much information. She keeps me up on my news. And Trudy. Now, there's just a lot of stuff we just can't talk about anymore. They've given me such a bio line that I can't talk about. I don't know why I'm even attempted, and I'll probably get a strike for just saying the words. You know, it's just ridiculous. I want to run over. We have a lot of short vision dreams that I try to keep them in a folder because they're not very big and you can't use them into the regular ones. So we're going to start doing those in the morning. They're going to be like the mornings when we're going to start out, and then we'll do shout outs and also these CD3, these short dreams. This coming from CD3. It says, God bless you. Thank you for pounding into people's heads, including mine, to read the Bible and pray. I've been doing that and appreciate the reminders. In 2019, I had a dream of a trumpet. I was sound asleep in my real life, having a generic pizza dream that meant nothing. While asleep, the dream stopped cold and there was nothing, no dream, but I was still asleep. Suddenly, I heard a massive, sustained sound. It got progressively louder and it sounded like a stuck car horn from the 1960s. Not that wimpy kind we have now. Very true. I woke up and still could hear it in my head. I stumbled to the window and the sound stopped and nothing was happening outside and inside the place. And a couple of months ago, I heard that loud doorbell while sleeping. I got up. No one was at the door. It was the early 1900s. I had a massive tribulation dreams, meaning lots of them were scary. I remember suitcases, nukes, and these planted around the country going off. Texas was one of the states. I'm not disgusted about it, and I got to watch some of the stuff I say. Also, a terrifying dream in the 90s, therefore being on the run with a group of people I managed to join with. We were hiding in the woods somewhere in the dark. We had been hunted and didn't know where we would be laid to rest. I woke up before finding out, and we made it. So all this came from CD3. We thank you for writing all that in, CD3. And keep CD3 in your prayers also. Requested prayer the other night, having some hard times. This coming from Sean Steele. The dream started as I was in class. I was in school was a school of students, maybe high school or college kids. We started hearing things and realized that there was a bunch of people trying to get in our classes. Maybe break in, you would say. It was many people trying to get in, several thousands just by my guessing, seeing outside the window of the classroom. Just as some has managed to get in, a huge storm came in which a very loud and sandy blowing a lot of dirt to the point where it could be seen everywhere. Some of these are hard to read, where you could not see anything but dirt. I had the urge to get out of there and head home, where there was, I'm not sure where I was living at the dream, but as I and other people I knew in the dream left the campus to the danger of the people and the storm. I seen some of them make it to safety in their homes right after I wasn't near my home, but not near my home, but I had a desire to get there and was walking towards it. Then I woke up. That's it. I'm not sure if it could be a rapture dream, but I thought it would be something I could share anyway. Hope you're doing better. Thank you, Sean, for writing that in. Like I say, use discernment on all these. And these are to put out. We put them out, so if there's anything similar to anything you've seen, to let us know. This came in from Elsa. It says, my dream started with being outside with family members, parents, brothers, and sister-in-law. We were all looking up, and about that time I started lifting off the ground towards the sky. I could hear them screaming my name, Lisa, Lisa. At the point I looked back and they were standing on the ground still. My heart began breaking for my family and fear I could sense in them. I started descending back down towards the ground. The next thing I remember was flying to stay floating. I was trying to stay floating towards heaven. It was like I was swimming in the sky trying to resurface. I stopped looking back and I was thinking, Jesus, Jesus, help me. I'm struggling to get to you. Jesus, Jesus, I want to see you. I love you, Jesus, help me. I heard the voice say to me, you are okay, my child. Keep your eyes on me. At this point, I woke up. Thank you for Elsa for writing that in. We appreciate every vision and dream we get. This came in from Isaac Scherfer. The dream, I was at home and I stepped outside, and it was about 50 miles south of Chicago in Illinois. I saw two huge NUCLEAA LEA or bombs going off and seeing the mushroom cloud. Looked about 20 miles away from Chicago. Second one, I was at a skyscraper and I could move around freely like a ghost, and I could see that the N bomb went off and the city of my surroundings was getting destroyed, and the whole air was just a super red color, and the dream ended. The third N bomb felt like I was in a tribulation period and electricity was shut off for quite a while, and knew that the NUKE fell and the devastation around me. Was walking up my house. I was walking up to my house feeling no hope. This is definitely a tribulation dream, and a dream the world around me was searching for answers. I was home and the air was gray. The life was sucked out from the earth. Life, like how life is green and the sun is shining and you feel great, but the total opposite is when you're in a camper next to my house was full of chicken crap, horrific stuff. On the left of my house was my grandpa's garage, and there was a group of sinners. I was part of them. In the dream, I was, why am I here? People are just having stuff, and it was very sinful, and all that alarm rang, and the woman next to me said, it's time for you to drink blood. The dream ended. I'm not sorry. I'm so sorry for sharing these horrible dreams. If you believe it's Jesus, we shall not fear. Thank you for sending that in, Isaac. We let everybody else do the discernment on them, and I try to go through them as much as I can, but I can't go through every one of them and proofread them. I just don't have the time. Natalie Green wrote in and said, okay, first email was cut off, but I need to send this in again. I was standing on a black sludge figure with my figure was on a leg holding on with a chain on my leg holding me down, and the road, this round, pretty silver looking with wings and face, came down and pulled me up, breaking the chain. At time I hadn't even heard of chains in the Bible. I had started reading anyways. It took me up, and I went through the clouds and went through like a mattress and I saw a huge mansion like you're so light there and can jump crazy cool anyways. A man, I'm trying to get all this if it's saying it right. You're so light there, can jump crazy cool anyways. A man in a ride asked what questions I had. Easier to tell you in person. Anyways, I've had so many dreams. One was I was in a car and a fire and lava was around and a man in the robe was beside me. I said I had to get my stuff out of the car, and he said, nice, thank you. You'll need anything where you're going. Then I was taken to a shed with him, and I saw an old sign that said, end times, time's up. All the signs to anew. I asked him if he's supposed to pick one of these signs and make a new one. He noted, I want to share more, but so tired. Love you, brother. Thank you, Natalie Green, for sending that in. Some of these, when you're writing them in, try to punctuate it and get it to where, make sure you proofread it before you send it in also. It's just a lot easier for me. It says, Candy Lovejoy, I was 21 years old, married, working the midnight shift at an emergency vet. I had a dream that I was at work and looked out the window. The world was on fire. Everything was the color of fire embers, and the wind was basically on fire. The roads were even burning. I had a feeling of peace like I had never experienced before. I turned around, and my husband was standing there with our cat. We didn't have children. I put my arms around him, and we lift up. Like a spotlight was on the shining from above. Then I woke up. This was 30 years ago in the dream, and it's still crystal clear to me. I wish I could have known it was a rapture dream. I have that all the time, Candy. I know what you mean. Some of mine didn't know was it rapture dreams either. God, I say, dream from God because I have never taken Him seriously and would have, and had a relationship with Him back then. It would have probably kept me away from doing the things that I still regret today. I guess we all feel like that sometimes, Candy. Let's see. Tina Muse says he had a dream that he was at work. I guess it's talking about her husband, I guess. Work, there was people wearing masks, kind of like the CV mask, but they were more rubbish than paper, and they had straps on them, and they had this on, but it was under his chin. Somebody was walking around with a clipboard and told him to put his mask on, and basically told him so. So they started rounding up people and put them in groups, and they were rounding up their customers up with them as well. My son and another man said at the same exact time that they put us in groups, it makes a lot of sense. Then the guy started screaming about the right-wing agenda and how this is against a democracy and something about forefathers building this country. And my son said that the Africans built this country, and it was the end of that. I felt like another pandemic is coming soon, and another way to push the you-know-whats. And probably so, Tina, because I can see it happen, but I don't think we'll be here for this one. So I think the world is going to be the thing everybody worries about with these pokes and everything. Trust me, that ain't nothing compared to what's coming. See, April Maury says, I was baptized in July 2022 and fully gave my life to Christ. I have been reading my Bible and trying to comprehend all that I read. I had a dream in September 2022 after being in prayer for about an hour, so asking the Lord for discernment regarding Jesus' return and the rapture of the church. The dream started off with me running up a stairway in a concrete building, pulling my daughter behind me by her hand. Each floor of the building is empty, and the only large plate glass window is but something was making me run up each stairwell as fast as I could. There was a sense of urgency I cannot explain, and the dream was so vivid I can see it just as plain as day. Upon reaching each floor, I would look up out the windows, panicky, but I didn't know what I was looking for. Finally, we had reached about the 15th floor, and I looked out the window. To my left, I saw the trees being pulled down the ground away from the building, but there was all of a sudden all these trees started to stand back up, and they start towards the ground in a direction of the building. Somewhere in my mind, I knew that this was an M-bomb that had been dropped. I quickly looked at the right out the window, and there is running a full steam towards the building with a massive black horse, 15 stories tall, with a massive muscular build, with a stream coming out of both nostrils. At this point, I woke up with the absolute sense of knowing that the return of Jesus Christ was imminent. He is so close that we must let everyone know that this was placed in my heart. Thank you for doing and bidding God's direction and placing in your heart. Thank you, April Emery, for writing that in. As I said, we had a lot of short vision dreams that has come in. This came in from Mary Ellen Precus. Says, hi, Chris. You're doing a wonderful job and encouraging everybody. I definitely feel like time is wrapping up. I feel sometimes very lonely in my Christian walk. Me and my friends are asleep and think I'm nuts. God, I know how that feels. I had 2 rapture dreams. One back in May 2022. I saw 2 blood moons side by side at dusk. I got to my knees and started yelling at all those that Jesus is coming. Number 2, I had a dream 1 hour ago. Was walking in a park at dusk with some friends. Saw a rocket in the sky taking off. The sky went dark. I saw something animals and symbols in the sky like a transparent vision. It took me 5 seconds to realize what I meant. There was no trumpet. I got on my knees and started calling out to Jesus. A person near me was glowing and started to lift off the air, into the air. I then lifted up. It was the most beautiful feeling. I was overjoyed. The dream ended and I was about 50 miles above the earth, but I was going up. So encouraging, it felt real. Not normal rapture dreams. There is such a thing, but the first time I saw myself lift off the ground, I feel blessed to finally have another dream. May God bless you. See you in the sky. Thank you, Mary Ellen Pregius. And I think we'll get all that one in this time, and we'll do a lot more tomorrow when we open up the morning show here. But I try to keep them under 20 minutes because there's so many of the short rapture dreams that you really just can't fit into another spot, okay? Thank you for listening. Thank you for being part of the channel. We're glad to have you on here. If you don't see or hear from me again, I'll see you in heaven.